Welcome to the Spiritual Connection Podcast. I am your host, Jill. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about your energy, their energy, manifesting, mindset, creating high vibrational healing for you, body work, the importance of massage and self-care, and much, much more. Let's get rolling. Ready? All right, Tamara's back on. We're going to talk about moon cycles and going insane.
Oh my gosh, so true.
Okay, so
So,
we were talking
yes.
about how messaging and guidance is unclear these days. And for me personally, and I'm getting mixed up with my ego as far as what's coming through and not feeling very certain that the hits I'm getting are coming from the right places. So, and you talked about moon cycles and the energy currently of where we're at. So you
Well,
were onto something really awesome. So go.
okay, let me remember what I was going to say. Um, the first thing is when it's a negative thought and it's like, you're messing up or you go into that fear mode and, oh, this is just, guess what? This is another lesson. Yay, here you go, here you go. That's ego. And the thing that I keep on, so I wanted to also tell you this. I just reread the book, Many Masters, by Brian L. Weiss. I should hop up and get that. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian L. Weiss. And it's a great, great book. And it's basically, he's a clinical psychologist who regresses this woman named Catherine in hypnosis. And then he's realizing as he's regressing her, she starts remembering lifetimes. And then she goes it's a really great book. If anybody, wants to check it out, I really strongly suggest it. The most profound thing I've learned throughout my healing has been we all have our own guide, and that guide is always with us, always singing our praises, always sees the brilliance in us, always sees the perfection in us. And truly, I have two. I have one that I call Daniel. And then I have Ruby, and Ruby always stands behind me, and Ruby's always like, let's go have fun. And she's like this little bubble of energy, like, why aren't you having more fun? Let's go have fun. And that sort of thing. And she's always the one projecting me to be like, okay, I'm just going to set my work aside and I've worked. Now let's go and just kind of let go and have some fun. And so we always have this with us all, standing next to our bed. People who I follow near-death experiences, and people talk about the first person meeting them sometimes is their loved one saying, come. Other times, many times it's their guide, and they can see their guide sitting right next to their bed. So that's first and foremost. The information we get, that is from loving. That's the loving side. That's when it's coming from our angelic support. That's when
Mhm.
it's coming from our, divine energy, I am, all of that. So you were talking about feeling kind of like maybe keep on getting tested or, are
Yeah, like
challenged and that
so
sort of
many
thing.
lessons are coming through,
Yeah.
and I'm asking for I'm asking for just some better guidance around that and just put me in one direction,
Yeah.
and help me find that space that I'm supposed to go in one direction so I
Mhm.
can be really super clear and live through my heart
Mhm.
always. It's
Mhm.
just the getting the direction has been hard
Mhm.
because I've pulled myself in too many different directions all at the same time.
Mhm.
So,
And your guide would say
and
to you, it's not hard. You just get to sit and listen and let go.
yeah.
So for me, this is where the moon cycles come into play. The moon cycles have been this eclipse energy, which rocked the bejesus out of a lot of people, this blood moon, this full moon, all this kind of stuff. So first and foremost, like I said, you're right on track. Welcome to the sisterhood, and brotherhood. That what we are being challenged to do in this energy and the frequency planet that's just the Schumann resonance is just off the charts. Every one of the people I know who are the astrology masters in my life, because it's just hieroglyphics to me, they keep on saying what we're being given the opportunity, and it's not meant to be a quote test. It's not meant to be punishment. It's not meant to be hard. It's not meant to be, you know, whatever stuff. It's all what we're giving, being given is the opportunity to let go and trust. And that's, what did they say to me the other day? The first and foremost, the number one thing you are asked to do is breathe, even if it means breath work. So breathe. I have to remember to take deep breaths during the day. Breathe and let go. And for me, letting go means sitting in meditation, really quieting my mind and not being like, what is my answer? What do I do? What's the next thing I do? What's the next step? What's the next da da da? And that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Instead, it's a feeling of like, whew, gonna breathe and I'm just gonna be in peace and I'm just gonna trust that no matter what happens, I can do it. I have been through worse. My life, like I said, when your foundation just shifts and alters and all that kind of stuff, it's amazing how, in the grand scheme of things, you know, oh well. I am completely on my own in this life in the sense that I'm me and animals and that sort of thing. But so I lean heavily on my guides. I lean heavily on my divine guidance, which is I ask, like yesterday, I'm absolutely having a fear moment where I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how this is going to work out. Show me what I need to do. I'll do it. I'll call. I'll, make that connection. I'll do whatever it is. And da 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 da. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. And instead, it's just go into the space of, I just need you to, I need to cut all cords. I need to unhook. I need to breathe. And then I please guidance, guides, ascended masters, I need you just to take this anxiety out of my heart. I need you to help me bring calm. I need you
Hmm.
to do that. Every time I ask, I receive.
Hmm.
Help me just breathe again. Help me just take this from me. And I'm telling you, Jill, the more you ask, because they love to be of assistance, the more you ask, the more you will receive. The more you receive, the more you will trust in that connection and that guidance. So that's
Hmm.
the simplest way I start. I
Yeah.
ask. It
It's
doesn't maybe
powerful.
happen right then and there, like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm better. It's a matter of like 30 seconds later, 20, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And all of a sudden I realize, holy cow, I haven't been obsessing about it. I've just, hey, holy cow, I just looked up and I'm seeing the fall colors and I'm seeing the leaves. And like yesterday, I just sat in my room and I looked out my window and I'm just appreciating the beautiful blue contrast to the yellow. Although I have some red in the front of the oak tree in front of my house. I have that. And that to me that's your connection, not well, I shouldn't be sitting here. Why am I sitting? I have so much to do. That's ego. Like, why am I not doing more? I should be doing more. I should, would, could, shame, shame, shame.
So
That's
true.
ego. That
Yeah.
has nothing to
It's
do.
hard to not be in that space sometimes,
Yeah.
And for me, it's like when I drop in and my guides show up, it takes me a while to get there. It's not a 30-second kind of thing for me
Mhm.
because the ego and the busy brain and stuff is very much active,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But I know the benefits of sitting in meditation and giving myself the time to really drop in. Like for you, does it
Mhm.
feel like a sinking feeling? Like to me, when it's like when it kicks in and I'm really kind of getting to that next level of depth, I feel like a wave go through me and then my body kind of sinks. And then I get to the next level and another wave goes through me and then I sink again. And that's like
Mhm.
a sensation that my body goes through to kind of get to where I want to be, where I'm in the vortex of space where my guides come in and talk to me. And I've got two as
That's really
well.
grounding. Yeah,
that,
and that could be
yeah,
there's
and
your
it's like a
grounding.
full body feeling of just anchoring. Like
Yeah.
it's a sensation where my body's just kind of unclenching, a feeling of just
Mm-hmm.
kind of dropping in and then
Yeah.
dropping in again. And I know when I get to that point, I'm well on my way. I'm like, yes, give me another one of those, like, and dropping in
Yeah.
again and dropping in again and dropping in again. And just feeling where that takes me. And it does, like, when you give yourself the time to do that, it does really eliminate the anxiety and the stress. It does give you like a full body reset
Mm-hmm.
sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And that's
you're
where
there.
you're letting, and that's where the letting go is. And
Mhm.
then sometimes what I do, I get that as well. And I'm like, whoo, okay, there I'm anchored. I drop a cord
Yeah.
into the core of the earth and I bring all that energy up, and my energy release is still burping, which is sometimes frustrating and stuff like that. Sometimes I have so many burps to release. And then but the cord comes back up and it anchors me. So I feel like same thing, I settle in. And then all of a sudden, my body then just starts to expand. And I just feel like I'm sitting up more straight. I'm like, whew. And so I'm taking up more space and more of my energy system as well. And I'm not making myself small. You know, um, the other thing in that is when I stay there and I just then ask my question, and I stay in that mindset of then just whoosh, just breathing, even focusing on breathing. Like I always love to say, the Navy SEALs do that breathing technique, which is breathing in 12 count, breathing out, and then holding it for like 4, and then
Yeah.
breathing out 6, or yeah, 12, yeah, 6. Forget what it is. I always think it's like 6, 4, 12. So it's 6 breathing in, holding it for 4, breathing, and you start doing breathing exercises. There's so many guided meditations on YouTube, and there's affirmations, and they're all even breathing, yeah, gurus. There's all sorts of lovely things to support in on YouTube as well. My favorite saying is, when you order something online, you put that order out, you say ding ding ding, and you order it. You don't keep on going back then to check, was my order received? Was my order received? When is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? So that's where we're guided to just sit and have faith and trust that you've been heard, that your guides and angels and ascended masters absolutely want what's in your heart space. They want you to have your best life and live your best life. And the truth is, our own hell and version of hell is our in our own making. And it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. But for me, my own making is when I start stressing and being fearful and asking, that becomes a personal hell for me in a way. Like yesterday was a weird, tough day for me. Um, so I just, same thing. I didn't get the answers that I wanted, but the answer for me was the expansion. The answers for me was the calm. The answers for me was that I slept last night. So there's my answer. And then just same thing. I've already sent my order. I've ordered it. So now I just get to sit back and I get to do what I love, which is what I do with frequency and animals. And then I want to do more crafty and creative things as well. And then the other thing I personally love, I'm constantly getting the nudge to go, is to go to nature and to be in nature more. So whatever those little nudges are, when they feel like, oh, I feel it in my heart, that's your guidance. That's not ego, that's angelic guidance.
Yeah. It's beautiful to be able to trust in that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. There's some out there that might really want to explore this
Mhm.
and just need a little how to.
Mhm.
So this is great. The dropping in and um to meet your guides and get the guidance. And for those that haven't really tried it before, the focus on meditation is not to like clear the head and empty the brain, right? That's
Mhm, mhm,
impossible because we're conscious
mhm.
beings.
Yeah,
We're critical analytical thinkers, and there's no way to empty
right.
completely. But
Hmm.
the tool is to learn how to navigate when
Hmm.
those thoughts pop up. When you're sitting and you're still and you're focusing on your breathing and you want to really drop in and you want to get to a deeper level, notice when that stuff pops up, the busy mind, the how-tos, the shoulda, woulda, couldas that you mentioned earlier. Acknowledge it, say, okay, it's there. I hear you. And then go back to your
And then I picture like my hand going,
breathing.
pulling it out.
That's
And they
great.
say even like you
Yeah.
listen to the biggest gurus of the world. I love to meditate with guided meditations. I love to go to like Buddhist gatherings and stuff. I love their meditations. And they will tell you they've literally dedicated their lives to this, and they will tell you as well. My mind's not always quiet. My
Yeah.
mind can be thinking about things, and I get a to-do list just like anybody else. The key is just to simply with kindness and with grace, just to be like, okay, I see that. Thank you, and just kind of pull it out. Or go back to, oh, I'm starting to spin a little bit, go back to my breathing. And that's why when I suggest when people start, do the guided meditations. Do a 20-minute morning guided meditations that's all about thank you for this day, thank you for this heart expansion, whatever it may be, or people who even do guidance of tuning into the chakras and the crown chakra all the way down, and then rooting into the earth and that sort of thing, and then coming back up through the heart and putting, like, I put a bubble of protection around myself. If you do those simple things and you just start there, and then like I said, the other thing is to ask. You're in the car and you're having an anxiety attack, or you're just starting to spin, or you're fearful, or something just happened that just really kind of brought up a lot of stuff for you. Ask, okay, this is a lot for me. Please just soften this.
Yeah.
Soften this.
Where did this trigger show up from?
Yeah.
What was the thought in my mind that created this physical sensation?
Yeah.
What was it? What was it?
Right. And
Was it
even if you
even
don't want to go
mine?
there, but even if you don't want to go there, because then that for me gets me in the story of like, oh, because that time that I dot, 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 but instead I have the feeling that comes up and you're like, oh, like I'm having I got flash. I mean, with this whole moon stuff, I got flashes of childhood stuff I didn't even remember, dad stuff, like all these things came up. And rather than going, and I'm going to hold on to that, just being like, I need you to help me let this go. I'm ready to let this go.
Yeah.
I
So
really am ready
there's
to
two
let this go.
options, right? Depending on
Yeah.
how deep you want to dig into it, right? For
Hmm.
me, I'm curious as to the why. When I get that
Mm,
trigger, I'm like, okay, what was that thought or that
mm,
continuous thought that's creating this physical sensation of anxiety in my body and fear? Okay, I know what that is. Okay, now I can put that away. Like I want to
hmm.
know, I want to name it, and I
Yeah.
feel like if I
Yeah.
name it, then it's easier to compartmentalize it and
Mm,
put it over here, right?
hmm.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
anxiety. It's based on whatever. Okay, there it is. Put it over there and then breathe into the shifting out of it. But
Hmm.
there
Yeah.
is, there's more than one way to do everything,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Depending
Yeah.
on your personality type and how curious you are about the sensations you're getting.
Right.
So
And
either
I
or,
think because I'm at a place where I spent so much of the last years in healing and so much time in therapy since my 20s, that I always felt like I was analyzing and so my process really has been, oh, wow, that's a feeling. And oh, it's kind of got a little connection to that. Okay, I'm ready to let it go.
yeah, it could be
I don't
as
want to loop
fast
back
as that,
in.
just
Yeah, yeah,
identifying it
exactly.
for like a
Yeah,
second,
right,
and just letting
right.
it go.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people struggle with like rumination, right? Catastrophizing,
Right. Yeah.
and it's hard to drop into a space of healing when you're in that,
Hmm.
when you're in that headspace of ruminating on the negative.
I
So,
will
do you
tell
have any
you, there's
advice around that?
yes, it is. For me, it was the fact that it was more comfortable to be in a space of lack. For me, the familiarity was everything's gonna fall apart now. Oh, this is just, like, and as strange it is as it is, because we're all like, but I want to be happy, but I want to feel joy and that sort of thing. But the truth is, when your learned body response is that the comfort is in the trauma. And if I hold on to that, if I'm still holding on to the lifeboat, even though it's sinking, at least, that makes me feel safe. I'm going to go down with the lifeboat eventually and that sort of thing, but it just makes me feel safe. The
Yeah.
scariest thing for me was letting go of the lifeboat and swimming away and just being like, I'm out here in open water now. And now, what if? Look at all these
Yeah.
possibilities. Look at all these land. Look at
There's
all,
like,
there's an island there. There's an option there. Like that was the
yeah,
scariest thing for me. Yeah.
yeah, I bet. But when you say that in my body, I like was able to just take a deep breath
Love
when you
it.
said that because you know me long
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, letting go of that. Because I get stuck in that. I
Hmm.
do. I'm human, right? So
Hmm.
you get stuck in the rumination, in the hanging on to the familiar discomfort. And that familiar
Hmm.
discomfort becomes the comfort when it's really not affecting you in any positive way. It's just is so familiar and it becomes habitual, that
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
that's the pattern that you get stuck in. Your nervous system gets stuck in that pattern. And then it's
Hmm.
very hard to retrain your nervous system to be in a space of parasympathetic, and
Yeah.
receiving and a feeling of homeostasis and balance. And meditation really can help you get there,
Oh, absolutely.
but it has to be a
And also,
consistent
here's the other, just
practice,
to
right?
interject here. The other thing here that's done wonders for me is Kundalini. And Kundalini is all about these kind of things and putting your arms up and, this and that sort of thing. It's all about opening your heart center. And a friend of mine for years has said, why aren't you doing Kundalini? Why aren't you doing Kundalini? I'm like, I don't like those dumb exercises. And it just didn't
It's like something
resonate.
you want to do
For
by
so,
yourself,
I'm
right?
like, I don't like breathing like that. It dries out my sinuses like it bugged me. And now I do. I swear for years. And now I do every night, I do this, which I sent to you. I do the Subah Kriya. And I do that every night. And it's amazing how the next day I wake up and I am attracting more things. I am more heart-centered open. I mean, obviously there's some stuff that bubbles up while you're releasing all that, stagnancy around heart chakra stuff. And, it bubbles up in the processes. And I feel like yesterday was a huge shifting day for me, cycling day and that sort of thing. But same thing last night, my Subha Kriya again, which opening your heart center, and all of it. There's so much support that we have. YouTube is supportive. What is that app that I love? I forget. There's Calm. There's meditation on Calm that are supportive. I listen to at night. I listen to affirmations, looping affirmations as I sleep. That helps. It helps reprogram your brain while you're asleep and stuff like that. Getting
I
out in
love
nature,
sleep
putting your feet on the
hypnosis.
ground, clearing yourself
Mhm.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
sleep
much
hypnosis is
like you can do.
powerful. It really has helped me with
Yes.
a lot of things. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tapping, tapping, people who do the tapping and that sort of thing, that does wonders for people. Have you ever done tapping?
yeah, not on a regular basis, but I have done tapping. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the key would
And it
be,
does
here's
help
my
shift the
challenge.
energy. The tapping of the chest here is a powerful piece for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Right
Yeah.
here, because I
Yeah.
hold a lot in my heart chakra area. And there's a lot,
Mhm.
like I already feel some space in there just for a little bit of tapping. And it's that also like these are all tools to help us tap into our
Hmm.
guides and to tap into some letting go of some physical sensations on our body so we can relax and focus enough into breathing to get the guidance
Hmm.
that we need. And once we get into that space of deep relaxation, if you I want to talk about a little for just a moment and then we can go um, connecting with guides. And if you've
Hmm.
never done it before, and for me, the first time I was meditating and I said, can I see my guides? Can I be shown?
Hmm.
And at
Hmm.
first, they were like in the far distance and they were kind of blurry, but I could see like Annalise is one of my guides. Like I have her
Hmm.
tattooed on my
Hmm.
arm.
Hmm. Love
And
it.
she's been my one that's been with me the longest. And then I have an Egyptian one called Nuktet. And then I have another
Hmm.
one. She's my bubbly one. Her name's Beatrice. But she's Beatrice is in the background because I have a lot of trouble having fun. So she's like,
Exactly.
she's super
Exactly.
quiet, and I'm just like way too serious about, life. So I have
Hmm.
my nuke ted is more like my lower energy centers, my solar, my root, my sacral, my solar, and then Annalise is more my uppers, like my heart and my spiritual connection. And their energies are very different. And the first time I saw Annalise, I was just breathing and just still, and I asked to see her, and she was in the distance and blurry, and I asked her to come closer.
Hmm.
I'm like, can I see your face? Can you show me
Hmm.
your clothing? Can I see you closer up? And she came closer and closer and closer, and I could see her, the detail of all of her. And she's a light being,
Hmm.
and then Nuktet came in easier because I had already done it. And Nuktet came in like very, like Annalise is more light and airy and wispy. And then Nuktet is
Hmm.
very like sharp
Hmm.
and a lot of contrast in her coloring and what she wears. And her appearance is just more like boom in your face, less wispy. She's my more
Hmm.
root, my lower energies, my survival. She's more of my red and my
Yeah.
badass and like, you're going to do this. It's scary, but we're doing it anyways. And it took a while to get to have them come in, but it does sometimes with me take a little bit to get there,
Hmm.
and it's not an instantaneous thing all the time. So just for the people
So,
that are new at it, to just
mhm,
have a lower expectation and just be super open and curious and excited rather than
mhm,
like disappointed if it's not clear the first couple tries, right? Just continue to practice
mhm,
and continue to ask, and they will
mhm.
appear.
Yeah, that's the key.
If you're very
Just,
much in your head, like asking to see your guides, but also going over your grocery list at the same time,
yeah.
odds are less likely, right, that they will
So
show up.
my challenge is, this is what I always love to challenge myself, is a 40-day challenge. So 40 days, I'm committed to Subah Kriya, and I'm committed to meditating. I meditate even sometimes twice a day. Whenever I start feeling overwhelmed, I'll go sit outside. I put a towel down, or I'll go to the trees, whatever, and stuff like that. You'll see me hiking up the mountain, and I got my little roll pack of blanket where I can sit on cushions and sit in the mountains. Like those are the days when I'm like, I really have time, and but same thing. I go with an open heart. I go with the intention of just letting go. I'm going to look up. I'm going to observe the beauty around me. I'm going to notice the birds and the bird song and the flow of the air and all that stuff. When I go with that versus going up with like, and I do set the intention of I need an answer and that sort of thing. And sometimes it even takes me an hour up there sitting and really, quieting
Right.
my mind and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, I say a 40-day challenge. And when you do a 40-day challenge, it's a muscle. And once you start meditating and you remember to breathe, it becomes a muscle. You start doing that. You start meditating and then you crave your meditation. You
Oh
really
yeah.
start craving
Oh
it
yeah.
because I love it. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. It's
Yes.
a
Yeah.
whole release.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's a
then
it's a
ask.
beautiful, powerful thing that,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
should be at least giving a shot and being open to.
Yes.
'Cause it
Right.
really does help take all of it
Yeah.
away temporarily.
Right. Right. And that's where, but that's a belief system versus I can look back on where I was in my anxiety and fear, and I can now see to the truly the depths of how I can let go. Like I kept on saying, just help me let go. Help me breathe, help me let go. Can you take some of this weight from me? And sure enough, it happens every time. They want to help, they're around us to help. Ask. I say it over and over again, ask and ye shall receive, right?
Right.
Ask, do a 40-day, dedicated practice. Eating healthy. That's why I don't drink because I don't like the way I feel the next day and I feel more depressed and anxious and all that kind of stuff. I don't drink anymore. So it's a value system in my own body and my health and my well-being of my body. That's why I am a believer in when my mind is scattered or whatever, I put something on, like I said, YouTube or Calm or whatever it is. I'm a believer in taking the dogs for a walk. I'm a believer in walking barefoot outside. I'm a believer in going to guided meditations and group meditations. Meditation is so powerful in groups, so I do that. The list goes on in what I'm constantly. But the number one thing I do is I try to put my shoulders back and I try to give myself grace. Where we get stuck in our cycles the most is when we start getting into our shame. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this again, and oh my gosh, I'm gonna make myself sick, whatever it may be. That to me is what, ooh, and that's kind of where I was yesterday, where I'm just like, okay, girl, whatever this is coming up. I think it's planetary because my animals are even being weird. And you were talking about guides, and guides for me are also animals. I have a jaguar that comes through. I have a giant elephant that comes through that I hug this elephant's head. The elephant always comes through. I have, ancient beings of different planets, all those things. I have a lot of blue beings that come around me. I turn blue, it's just all wild. Um, and the best thing for me being to just set my intention, to put my order out, and then just ask and then receive and ask and receive. So that, and like I said, that's what's going, that for me is what strengthened the most faith was to see, oh my gosh, that really was, I do feel better. I
Yeah.
really am receiving. Like I am really having that connection, and that
Yeah.
strengthened my belief in
Trusting
that
it.
connection.
Trusting it.
Yes.
Yes.
Or even if you don't trust it, even if you don't trust it, you're just saying it. I need help. I need you to take this out of my heart. I'm feeling really this way, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it kind of clears my mind. And then later on down the road, down my day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I stopped thinking about that. Thank you. So creating trust. Yeah.
Gratitude. Gratitude
Yeah.
for
And
those
gratitude.
shifts
Yeah. And
too.
gratitude. Right. Hmm.
Gratitude for the shifts too. And sometimes you have to repeat the asks too, right? Because we are human. We do have very strong, powerful egos. And
Hmm.
I have had to ask for the same release moments, over and over again.
Hmm.
Because if you get in your
Hmm.
head, you're going to go right back to the same story and then you're going to have to
Hmm.
start over, which is
Well,
hard. I mean,
here's,
it's challenging because we're
yeah.
human, right? And we make mistakes and we get in
Mhm.
our heads about a lot of things and
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
in everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody's in their head
Yeah.
about everything all the time,
Or
and
I
it's
asked, why didn't I
hard
receive?
place
I
to
asked,
remove
why didn't I
yourself
get
from.
that? Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
also, the trust then comes if I didn't receive, then where am I? This is what I've my shift through the planetary alignments and moon cycles has been. If I didn't receive that, you know, I'm open. Okay, maybe I'm not meant to stay there. Maybe I'm not supposed to continue doing this. Maybe what I'm doing isn't in my ultimate alignment, and maybe it's too hard on my body. There's a greater something coming in, and that's what I mean by I keep on going back to that. Okay, then if it didn't work out and this didn't come through, or whatever it may be, really once again going, okay, I asked and I'm just gonna let it go. And then the other thing is, like, I'm like in a place where if I have to move from this house, like if I'm not meant to stay here in Colorado, okay. then show me where I'm meant to go. I'm open. Like I'm really am exercising that. Like I'm really practicing being in flow. Like my thing is I I'm open to I want to be happy and joyful in my life. I want my animals around me to be happy. I have, dreams of having a farm one day. And then, but then I got fixed on the next step is going to be my farm versus, okay, if my farm's not the next step, then just I'm open. Where am I guided to go? And it's just letting go, breathing through it, trusting, letting go, letting
Surrendering,
go, letting go.
letting go,
Trust, trust,
surrendering,
trust.
and staying
Yeah, surrender.
curious and open. Because not
Yeah,
everything's going to show up for you right when you asked for it,
right, right.
right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it takes years,
it does.
you know?
Sometimes, and sometimes
And
there's so many lessons and there's layers you gotta
oh my
let go of.
gosh.
Right.
Yeah, the lessons, I could be over that for sure, but
Mm,
we're
I
here to
know.
learn the lessons, right? To evolve to our
We
next
are.
lifetime. I'm just
Mhm.
like, man, the person that was me before me must have like needed a lot of help because I feel like I'm just constantly learning the lessons now. And I'm kind of
And
like,
your
I
and
would
your
like,
and your
and it will
empowerment
end.
in
I'm like,
that.
kind of like, honestly, I'm like tired of the lessons. I'm like, can you just give me the quick answer and just like tell me what to do and
Yeah.
have me, and
Yeah.
have it
Oh, I
be
get
the
it.
perfect thing, for the duration of my life, but it's not because we're always evolving and we're always changing and our needs and our wants change as we grow and get
Right.
older. And
And
that's
my lesson in that
always
is going
shifting.
back, but then going back to Wonder Woman undies and pulling those undies up and being in a place of I chose before I incarnated. I chose these challenges. I chose who was going to be my husband. I was chose who was going to be my parent, who were going to be my parents. I chose my best friends. I chose siblings. I chose. Before I came into this planet, I chose what I wanted to go through. And I can either loop in the hardship of it, or I can loop in the fact that I chose this and this is my empowerment. So if I chose this, I'm just going to really work on just letting it go because I don't do this anymore. I don't want to do this the next lifetime around, and that's where it's like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's constantly the empowerment I keep on taking away. Yesterday, I was not there. Yesterday, I was like, "Ugh, I just don't get it. But today, I'm like, okay, Wonder Woman Mondays are back on. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for your time. Like we just
Thank you.
spontaneously did one more podcast, but I love that we do that together and we have so much to talk about. It's awesome. So, those of you
Yeah.
listening, give it a try, and practice the steps, that we talked about and see if you can make some magic happen, right? It's a learning
Mhm.
process, it's a practice, just like everything else. It takes time to get good at it. And consistency is really the key to evolve just a little by little, right? And
Right.
before
Just,
you know
yeah.
it, you'll get into that drop in moment, you'll drop into the vortex, and it's just bliss when you're there. And you
Yeah.
don't ever want to
Right.
come back to reality. You want to stay right there.
That's the key. You got to
So
then do the actions. You still live in 3D. Right.
the
Yeah.
beautiful thing
And you
is,
know what?
though,
And
is
the
that once you learn it, you can go there as often as you need to.
true,
It's like a
true. And have
drug-free
fun.
solution to a lot of your
Right.
problems.
Right. And in honor of your guides and the ones pushing you forward to have fun even in this. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get up in the morning and have that meditation. I really love that woman's voice in that meditation. And I get to have the sunshine. I'm going to get up a little earlier in the morning and do it. And really, I find joy in it. I find joy in looking forward to it. And it doesn't feel like a hardship, doesn't feel like work. It feels joyful and expanding. And the Subak Kriya cracks me up, the movements, and I understand there's absolutely there's truly a philosophy behind it. There truly, and it does work. And I really am a believer in it. It still sometimes cracks me up how you're just
Just got to do it by yourself.
doing these movements and
I
all
did
this.
a whole workshop sequence right at the end of my relationship with my husband. And I sat in bed and did a whole sequence of like a course I took on it. I still have it. So thank you for the reminder.
Oh, yeah.
And I had some moments where I lost it, and I let some tears flow, and I felt some energy moving and some stuff coming up and out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then some pain dissipated.
Yeah. So true.
So it does work, and it's all about moving the chakras and moving the energy and getting unclenched, because emotionally we clench and physically we clench. And emotionally we clench first, and then it shows up in the body because everything is energy.
If you keep on clenching, it's going to show up somehow, right?
Right. And this Kundalini stuff is, it's a good opportunity for you to laugh at yourself, right? Because it is kind of ridiculous, but it does move things. It does move energy, and it does help clear some stuff out. So I'm going to look back on my files and see if I can find that again. So thank you for that reminder. So, all right, Tamara, I'll let you go and get on with your day. I've taken up a lot of your time. So thank you so much for being present and talking to us on this podcast, and stay tuned, listeners, for the next episode. Many blessings, and see you next time. That's a wrap for today, folks. Thanks for spending the time with me. And don't forget to check the notifications below on my social media links, my YouTube channel with self-care and meditations, as well as my omshantihealing.com website, where you can get info on spiritual coaching and my online courses. And as always, if you do enjoy my podcast, don't forget to subscribe or sponsor below. We'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.